little lazy right now. That's because I have just had my lunch. Well, did you hear what I just said? I have just had my lunch. And yes, well, this is what today's lesson is all about, using have had and has had in English. So this lesson is for all the subscribers who have kept requesting for this lesson and tell us how we use have had in English. So well, this is for all of you out there. Now, first let's understand you can use have has had and have had in English, okay? It is absolutely correct. You can use the structure in these ways. Now first, before we understand examples and the usage of have had, let's understand how do we get this have had, okay? Now I've put a small sentence here. I eat my lunch, okay? Supposing I tell you I eat my lunch, and the same thing I can say using have, where have plays the main verb of eating. It replaces the verb eating, and you say I have my lunch, okay? Now if you notice, both these sentences are in the simple present, okay? Now supposing I put it in the continuous, you get I am eating. Alright, I am eating, where eat goes in the ing and you have a supporting verb. I am eating. This is your present continuous. Now instead of saying I am eating, I can also say I am having my lunch right now, right? Where have is replacing eating. So I do the same thing. I put I am having my lunch right now. I'll call you later, right? So this is what I do in the present continuous. Now if I have to put it in the present perfect, I'm going to say well, do you remember your present perfect tense? The verb goes in the past participle form. So you have eaten, okay? And remember, you always use a supporting verb have in the present perfect tense, and then it is I have eaten. That means the action is completed. Now the same way how I put this verb in the past participle, I'm going to do exactly the same thing here. So I, okay, the third form of this have is had. So you say had, right? Now to make it a present perfect tense, you always use have. And this is where I get my have had. So well, have had is nothing but the present perfect tense, okay? Now we're going to take a look at some sentences and see when you can use have had or has had in a sentence. So as you just learned, have had is nothing but the present perfect tense. Now let's see how do we use them in sentences. My first one, they have had 3 chocolates today. So well, have had here means they have eaten, okay? And why am I using a present perfect tense? Because the action is completed, but the time today is not completed. So they have had 3 chocolates today, okay? Now well, you can use have as a main verb when you want to say have lunch, have a meal, have breakfast, have a small argument, have a chat, have a word with someone, have opportunity, have a good sleep, have some time to yourself, right? So that is how we use have with various things. The next one, has she ever had Chinese food? Now if you see, I've used has here. That is because we are talking about a third person singular. So well friends, I hope you remember your rules of your present tense. I have, you have, he, she, it has, okay? So it's the same as have had, only because it's a third person, we say has she ever had. Now well, this is a question. Has she ever had Chinese food? Now why do we use a present perfect here? Because I want to say so far, till date, has she ever had Chinese food? And that is how we use had again here to mean has she ever eaten, has she ever tried, has she ever tasted Chinese food, okay? So this is how we use it in the present perfect tense. The next example, Tom has had a beard for many years. Now well, ideally, okay, we should be saying Tom has been having, right? Because I'm talking about many years. So maybe 3 years ago the action started where he grew a beard, until today he has a beard. So we should be saying has been having. But like I always tell you, have does not take an ing form. When you talk about possessing something, it never goes in the ing form. So we have no option but to put it in the present perfect tense to show that an action started in the past and is still continuing till date. So here I say Tom has had a beard for many years. So we use have had or has had when we cannot put have, which is the main verb in this case, in the ing form to denote that an action has been going on for a long time. So what we do is we put it in the present perfect tense. Remember, because have does not go in the ing form. Alright, so here we have another present perfect tense which is actually trying to express an action that has been happening over a long period of time. So Tom has had a beard for many years. Again, Tom is the third person singular, so we use has. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next example. I have had a bad cold for many days. Now imagine last week I had a cold and it's still there. I feel suffocated, I feel sick. Okay, so I'm going to tell you I've had a bad cold. Well, again, ideally I should be saying I have been having, but have does not go in the ing. So I put it in the present perfect tense like this to show that the action has been happening over a period of time, maybe few days, few years, few months or few weeks. Okay, so I have had a bad cold for many days. That means I still have the cold. Okay, if I'm just going to say I had a cold, that means I'm fine right now. But what I want to tell you is I still have a cold. Okay, and it's been there for many days. So that is how I'm going to use have had a bad cold. Okay, and my last example, by next month I will have had that car for 2 years. Okay, now supposing this month I completed 1 year and 11 months using the car. Okay, but by next month, if you see, by next month I will be completing 2 years. So I'm going to tell you I will have had. Now I have used have had. Okay, but here I'm giving you an example of a future perfect tense. So I say I will have had. So by next month I will be completing 2 years of owning this car. So I can't say I will have been having again, because we do not use have in the ing. So I tell you I will have had that car for 2 years. So this is a future perfect tense. Okay friends, well, and this is how you use have had in a sentence. So please don't get confused. It's very simple. It is nothing but the present perfect tense. Okay friends, I hope you enjoyed watching this lesson. Please do put in your comments and queries if any. I'll be back soon with a new lesson. Till then, take care and bye.